Hi, my name is Julia Marshall. I'm 22 years old, and I'm a singer-songwriter and cartoonist living in San Gabriel, California.
Julia. Let's start with this drawing here.
Okay.
We talked a little bit about you doing cover art
Yes.
for your dad, who's a
Yes.
professional musician who plays mandolin and is
Yes.
actually quite well known. Evan Marshall.
Yes.
You're Julia Marshall, Evan's daughter.
Yep.
Okay. This one looks really intricate. Okay.
Thank you.
And what's the story?
This is the first CD cover that my dad commissioned me to draw, and it's Evan J. Marshall and Brian Oberlin proudly present Twin Mandolin Slingers. This is a project that my dad worked on with his good friend Brian Oberlin, who is also a mandolinist. And so my dad told me about what he wanted me to illustrate for this cover. He described to me that he wanted to draw two kind of human-like mandolins, just kind of gleefully shooting up in the air with two shotguns, and instead of bullets, music notes would come flying. And so that's what I illustrated, and then I added some additional details as well. I added some video game references at the top, and then at the bottom, these are all various characters, and then on the side, I've got my three original characters, Rhonda, Chip, and Melvie.
I just have to ask you, your necklace there, what's that all about, please?
Oh, so ever since I was about 9 or 10 years old, I've just kind of had a fascination with skulls and skeletons, and ever since then I've kind of been collecting jewelry and t-shirts that have skulls on them. And so one day I was shopping with my friends at the mall during our second year of college, and I noticed this necklace behind glass, and I was like, I really want that, but it's too expensive. And so I decided to myself that I would save up, and after finals were over, I would purchase the necklace, and that's exactly what I did. Finals were over, and as soon as that was done with, I headed straight to the mall, and I got this necklace.
Really cool.
Thank
really
you.
cool.
Thank you very much.
And it has hearts for eyes.
Yep. So this is my character, Rhonda. I created her when I was about 11 years old. This is her playing guitar, and this was inspired by the Hindu sculptures I used to see all the time back when I worked at the Norton Simon Museum in Pasadena. A lot of the sculptures at the museum, they have multiple heads and multiple arms, and so this was inspired by the Hindu sculptures I used to see when I worked there. She's doing multiple different things with her hands, and then I illustrated her head in different poses and various angles. This is a self-portrait I had to do for the same life drawing class I took at Pasadena City College. I used charcoal, and I believe I used Conti Crayon as well, and I used some blue and green oil pastels as well.
Okay.
This is something that my professor taught us in the same class. Make sure the corners of the mouth are always lining up to the pupils of the eyes, because then that's how they'll be proportionate.
Wow, I didn't know that.
For our second assignment in my Introduction to Illustration course, we had to choose between two German folk tales. We had to choose between either a boy who got his thumbs cut off or between a girl who was on fire. And so I decided to choose the girl who was on fire because she played with matches too much. So in the story, she plays with the matches and she's really fascinated by them. That's why she doesn't put them down or anything, and eventually she burns to death. And then these two cats watch her, and they're shrieking in terror as she burns.
So it doesn't have a happy ending?
No.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately not. This was our final project for my Introduction to Illustration course, and my professor, he said that we could draw anything we wanted, paint anything we wanted, or actually just using any medium. So what I decided to do is I thought I like roses and I like skulls, so I decided to paint both. And I really enjoyed working with textured fibers and toning the board and working with acrylics in this way, so that's why I decided to use those mediums. This wasn't painted from life. I did use actual roses and a hand from reference, and the skull as well, but this I kind of just made up on my own, and I did some concept sketches beforehand, and then I just painted on to the illustration board. So this is my character Melvie in just a bunch of different formations as a mermaid. So in the top one, she has pink hair. Her tail is inspired by koi fish, especially the koi fish I see at the Huntington Gardens in San Marino. And so I just drew her tail based on that. And then for these two mermaids right here, this one is inspired by Ariel, and this one is inspired by Flounder, both from The Little Mermaid. And then these two are based on Dory and Marlin from Finding Nemo. The other various fish in the background are just fish that I think are really cool. Like I once petted a stingray when I was 6 years old, and that was really fun.
Really?
And then I love eels. There's this one eel at the aquarium in San Pedro who I like to see sometimes. And I like angelfish, and once again I like skulls.
I
And
saw that.
and then when I was 18 years old, I went to, this was an illustration for my friend.
Uh-huh.
And when I went to Japan, I got her a keychain from the aquarium in Fukuoka, and the keychain was of a puffy white seal.
Oh.
And so that's why I included these two seals.
Wow, there's a lot of background in this one little picture. A lot of your own personal history in this one.
Yeah.
If you had some advice to share
Mm-hmm.
with the folks who have watched our video today,
Mm-hmm.
whether they're an artist or not, or whether they would like to be an artist, is there any advice that you have that you could share with us?
When I was in 6th grade, one of my classmates sitting next to me said, "If you want to draw, then draw." And that was the best advice I think I've ever received. I still use that to this day.
Julia, thank you so much for doing this interview with us, sharing your portfolio with us. Quite frankly, I've learned a lot about art that I didn't know, and I
Oh.
really appreciate you taking the time.
Well, I really
we wish you the
appreciate-
best in your future, and we'll be keeping in touch. And
Absolutely.
as you have new drawings and stuff, let us know. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for everything, Ju, and thank you for having me here and for interviewing me today.
Wave bye bye.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.